Yeah, baby, coming to you live tonight on YouTube, the KBF Kayak Bass Fishing Facebook page, and the Fishing with Gramps Facebook, and maybe Twitch too. I don't know where all I sent it to, but here tonight with Chad Hoover. Tonight we wanted to do, talk about some knucklehead stuff, talk about especially Catch22, since this dude's been out there working and grinding and getting through the summer, catching donkeys, making me feel, I'm coming to see you in 2 weeks. Don't forget, that's the week from Thursday. I will be down there.
Weeks? That's
yes,
only
sir.
Nice.
Yep. 2 weeks. Nice. I'll be down there. We're gonna go down there and go on a mission, little fishing mission. Chad and I are gonna be down there filming a little content together, doing some reviews on something new that I'll be picking up while down there. But we wanted to come and hop in tonight. Chad's gonna be going live again tomorrow night, but we wanted to come on tonight to talk about, some of the things that's near and dear to us. And that's Catch22, FISHOPS, and the Knucklehead Bass Fishing Series. And to do some giveaways from all that stuff. And at the end of the show tonight, I'm going to do a giveaway for all the folks that are participating in the streams tonight. And I'll do that through StreamYard. So the giveaways that Chad does tonight are going to be for Catch22. And we'll sprinkle those out with, throughout the thing, because that's part of, Catch22 as well. So we've already had somebody win a kayak earlier this year, the Jackson Coosa X, which I hand delivered to Mr. John Gittner, and I know he's out having a blast in that thing after he's got it rigged out and ready to go as his river boat. So Chad, man, how you been doing besides, catching donks?
We've given away 2 kayaks so far this year. We gave away a SS 127 to
that's right.
a guy named Joseph. Weren't both people in it inexplicably in Indiana? Didn't both of them live in Indiana?
I can't remember, because the first guy was like Faith and Fishing or something. Was that him?
Joseph Navoa won one, and
he won one last fall. Yeah, and
I literally think both people are in Indiana that picked up their boats this year. Well, you picked up one. That's right.
Yeah, because he's the Marine that I met last year at the NC, and he and I are supposed to be getting together to fish at sometime this year.
Yeah, man.
So look at you all set up in the new KBF headquarters. Got your back. Look at that plaque, baby. That took some work. I know you've been hiding it in the box, but honestly, I'm glad to see you put that up and show some other folks that, if you put in the work, put in the grind time and just keep at it, hey, good things can happen to great people.
It only took 10 years,
Yeah. See, so my only goal is to do it faster,
Yeah, and there's so many more tools now. I'm not saying, so much easier nowadays, but like there's so many more tools to teach you what you should and shouldn't do. But then again, there's also a lot more competition. I really started having success on YouTube when I treated it like a primary job. And I don't know if I've officially announced this, but as part of the whole financial strain of going through the divorce and all of that, I had a really great conversation with my production company. And I said, look, Austin does 99% media work, but like carrying his salary on the KBF side. KBF's kind of in the hurt locker right now, help a brother out. He was like, let me take a look at it. Honestly, you've been so independent in your projects that I haven't really looked at it in a couple years. So Ken Whiting, who was my original videographer, cameraman, co-host sometimes, all that stuff above, just a world-class dude, came back in a couple days and was like, dude, like I can do you one better. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's that? He goes, why don't you just take Chad Hoover Fishing and run with it? Now, that was also scary because at the time I'm trying to get you to take over some financial constraint to now you can have it all, but when you have it all, you also have the responsibility for all of it. But I thought about it, prayed about it, asked some other folks about it, and really what it boiled down to is it was the right time. It made the financial situation worse temporarily, but long term, there's going to be a lot more resources for me available to invest into Heroes in the Water, to FISHOPS, into KBF as well, because what a lot of people don't realize, I funded KBF with the media stuff, and I just kept moving more money over and over to KBF. And, a lot of that stuff is very well documented. It's kind of water under the bridge. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. The absolute worst case scenario of all of this stuff is everybody will be 100% caught up no later than October 1st. Second, because I'll get the big deposits on the 1st, but I'm doing everything that I can. Every time I get a penny, it's going out, with the exception of a major truck repair that I have to have done here. Cashed out my last thrift savings plan deal the other day, transferred that to the account. And so, JT, I'm going to tell you, man, I used to watch these things with these motivational people talking about like starting from scratch, and they built their business from nothing. At its peak, KBF was doing almost $500,000 a year in revenue. It bought my family a nice house. It put Christy's kids in great private school. It was doing its thing. And the media thing was the biggest part of the whole deal. And, you know, it took a while to get to this mindset, but what's crazy is I am at the bottom again. And if I hadn't gone through what I went through the way that I went through it, one, I don't think I would truly have the level of appreciation for KBF, my KBF family, for you knuckleheads, and all of that I do now, because, you know, they say sometimes you have to lose something to truly appreciate it. And I damn near lost it. Right. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now, to where it's not only going to survive, but it's going to thrive. And I also had to go through a soul searching process of like, what do I really, really, truly want KBF to be? And I'm going to talk about that on tomorrow's live stream. And we're going to give away another $1,000 worth of gift cards on your show tonight, because you were so gracious enough to bring me on before I was finished and ready for mine. I've already drawn 10 winners for $50 gift cards, or $500 from the Catch22. So 500 tonight, another 1,000 tomorrow. And then we've got at least 3 kayaks to give away between now and the end of the series. Duke is about to start dropping some updates on the grand prize kayak, which is that Bonafide SS127 that's all decked out with the new OPS parts. You've gotten a sneak peek at some of the pieces. He actually teased a couple of pieces out. We're going to do a FISHOPS, KBF, and Knucklehead exclusive color catch board. You know, one of the things,
when I think I didn't need a 6th catch board, Duke was like, "Hey, JT, what do you think of this color?" I'm like,
one of the things that you're going to see around here when I do the updated walk around is there's a lot of catch measuring boards, prototypes, ones that Duke has gifted me over the years, different phases of the development. And what I did is I kind of mounted them on the walls in different places, so they're like my reminder, right? Of that's the standard. Catch is the standard by which we measure things. And so to me, I placed it strategically where everywhere I look, there's a catch measuring board, because that is my reminder that there's a new standard that we have to hold ourselves to. And I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm definitely not happy that there's people waiting on their money. I'm definitely not happy about those kind of things. What I am happy about is that I'm going to be able to continue giving opportunities to anglers. We're going to double down. My goal is to create. My goal is to inspire. And my goal is to help those who want to create and inspire. And so, not to be self-serving, but the reason that I put this plaque up is I got this. I'm at 127,000, I think now. So this is the silver award. You get it at 100,000 subscribers. And I got that almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And I was just in a weird place mentally when I got it. I didn't feel like celebrating it. It felt pretentious to a certain extent. I didn't want to be like one of the like, "Hey guys, check out my new plot." I did it. I shot it. I just couldn't see myself releasing it. I couldn't make it feel authentic. And when I was sitting here unpacking in the HQ, you know, I'll be honest with you, I've unpacked stuff that I've avoided unpacking for 10 years, 11 years. There's days that I come in here and I work and I'll get excited. I'll psych myself up about unpacking some boxes, you know, and I'll be honest with you. I was in here yesterday. I was going through some boxes. I opened up a box, and in that box was for lack of a better way of putting it, it was something that I have to remember, like a really good friend of mine. And when I opened the box, I saw it. So initially I got the visual, like my lump in my throat. Then I got the smell, like it smelled like him. And then I got the cascading waterfall of emotions. And I just kind of sat on the couch over there and cried for a minute. Got it out of my system, felt better about it. And then I finished unpacking the box. And then I unpacked another one and another one. But I've had that roller coaster going on for, the past few months. And then that was in one of the boxes. And I was like, you know what? I need to put up symbology of things that motivate me, things that make me remember where I came from. This U.S. Navy thing right over here. There's a U.S. Navy placard on the door. I've had these KBF fish made a few years ago, and they're placed in strategic places around the shop. So when I do the tour, you'll kind of see the symbology of it. But it's been very therapeutic for me to get back to remembering why I started this in the first place, admitting and acknowledging that I got off track and that I focused on the wrong things for a good number of years. And, I got one of the best compliments. I think it was a compliment. I don't know. I'll explain it to you and you tell me if compliment's the right word. Not compliment, observation. Tandy from Yak Rods messaged me yesterday and she said, "Hey, I saw your new video. Good to see you smiling and happy." And I forget all the words she used, but she basically said, "Good to see you, like, being you again, happy, fired up, whatever." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm always like that." And I went back and I watched the video, and I even kind of got a smile on my face rewatching it because, I've been very blessed with the opportunity to be able to work directly with my son. But one of the things that doesn't happen like it used to is I used to screen the footage. So pretty much right after the trip, I would see these things and I was already familiar with them. Watching the videos after he edits them is like getting to relive the experience all over again. But we had taken a week and a half to edit that video, had some technical difficulties and some other stuff. And I kind of skimmed over the stuff where I knew what happened and I watched some of the pieces. So when she said that, I went back and I watched it and I was like, you know what? I am having a good time again. Like I hook a 10-pound bass and I'm talking smack while I'm reeling it in. Like that is fun. That blow up might be the best blow up on a topwater bass in slop I've ever had. I mean, that fish blew up and threw its tail over its head like a great white shark on Shark Week, and it blew water 6 feet to the right. And so when a blow up,
like I told you yesterday, that shot from the side where the fish is jumping out of, that is a clip for the ages. And I'll go ahead and tell you this now that you're saying that. 3 videos that stand out. Me and Jeremy, and we talk about these kind of things. The video you did with the lady from I think it was the tourism place or whatever, her first time out.
Promotion
the series you did, the series you did with John on the river, and then that video yesterday. That's the kind of stuff that people will throw up on the big screen and enjoy it. The smack talk between you and Gene was classic, and this is what kayak fishing is all about. This was me and Jeremy last Saturday chasing smallies, and we'll talk about that in a minute because I got to throw you some props for this one. But like those kind of videos, yes, we love it when you teach and all this too. But when you get a video like that where it's just genuine, you two outside as brothers, literally showing what it is we love about this sport, you can't create that. That's genuine. And the fact that you caught that on video with just enough light to see everything, oh, the good Lord was smiling down on you that day, dude.
Man, he was more than smiling down on me. It was one of those things where I had so that trip came together like this. "Hey, Gene, what are you doing tonight?" Gene lives 2 hours from me.
Yeah.
What are you doing tonight? What do you mean tonight? I can come down tonight. We'll go fishing tomorrow. I'm like, no, what are you doing tonight? I don't know. I said, bring your river and let's go fishing. He's like, where are we going? I said, I'll send you a drop pin. So like I kind of said in the video, but I had Austin take out some of the talking because the intro was way too long. I was jacking with Gene for like 15 minutes because he was taking forever. And it was fun, but it was also like just getting drug out. But he shows up and he's like, he pulls up, rolls his window down. He's like, where are we putting in? I was like, right there. He's like, where? I said, right there. He's like, no, seriously, where are we putting in? I was like, right there. And I'm pointing at the woods. So he's like, all right, man, let me go up here and turn around. He goes up, he turns around, he gets out and he's like, where are we putting in? And he's walking around and I had to go walk into the woods to show him. He's like, all right. And I said, have you ever fished out of this river? He's like, I got 2. And one of the boys was using the other one, or somebody was using the other one. So he brought that one brand new. I was like, well, this thing's going to get slimed tonight. And we're heading out and we start to spread out. I said, hey, you take the outside line of this field. They've been hanging on that channel edge. I'm going to go through and I'm going to hit these stumps. And I'll talk more about this in an upcoming video where I talk about when you look at these massive fields of lily pads, of hydrilla, of duckweed, of spatterdock. It's somewhat intimidating, and you can go out there for hours and hours and hours and wind and grind until you dang near throw your arm off. But there's little things you can do to kind of find the spot within the spot: ditches, logs, edges, things like that. And so I kind of had an unfair advantage in that I knew this place really well, and I just kind of sent Gene out there blind. But he does the same crap to me when we go offshore fishing, and he knows where brush piles and stuff are. So he's out there like, oh, fish on. And I was like, all right, touche, mofo. We're going to do this now. But we split up, and within the first 20 minutes, I got like a 5-6 pounder. And I definitely am doubling down on the diet now because after watching those videos, when it cuts to the big view where you can see my whole body, I just make giant fish look little. So I am going on the big fish look bigger diet as of 2 weeks ago. When I hit you up, you know, we started talking about it. We got the weight loss challenge back up and running on Fishing Chaos. I'm going to start weighing in again, but I got to make fish look bigger. Everybody's got to find their reason, their thing. And mine is I'm sick of catching giant fish and I hold them up and they look like a dang on minnow compared to my big ass. So we go out there, but here's the best part about it. Gene goes left and I go right, and Gene goes around this boat and he goes down the shoreline. So I'm paddling through this grass and the boat was parallel to me. And the guy looks over at me and goes, hey man, I'm fishing that way. And I was like, hey buddy, listen, you can't fish where I'm going. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I was like, hey man, I wasn't being a butthead. And he was going down the outside of this grass line and I'm going this way. So it's like, I'm nowhere near him. I'm hyper conscious of it. I don't like to cut in front of people. I don't like to mess with people, but he just went out of his way to say, and you know what? And I give people the benefit of the doubt. He's probably had kayak anglers cut in front of him, you know, stuff like that. So he was just letting me know, but I was like, yeah, man, I'm not going anywhere where you can go. And it was like 15 minutes later, I caught that big fish and he was over there on the edge. In the actual thumbnail, if you zoom in, you could see him in the background. And he got to watch me catch that giant fish. I'm hooting and hollering, you know, so I'm only saying this so that when you watch the video and you see me pull the fish up and I go, there's a guy in a boat right over there and he can't get here. I wasn't trying to be a butthead, but he had gone out of his way to a little dig at me like, we're going back there. I'm like, yeah, you can't go where I'm going. So maybe that kind of fishing has just gotten my soul fired up again. You know, we were driving to the water.
So I think Chad's camera is dying. He was trying to use his other one, so he's probably going to drop and pop back in with his phone real quick. We knew this might be a thing or not, so we'll give him a second to pop back in and switch over cameras. But I just wanted to say, hey everybody, sorry for eating my Greek yogurt on the live tonight. I literally just finished up my kettlebell workout before we went live, and I did not have a time to grab my chicken for dinner, so I just grabbed a little something to kind of settle my stomach down until after we get done. But I wanted to prioritize. I didn't want to miss my workout because I'm YouTubing, editing. That's why videos are slow. Focus is on my health and all that too. And looks like he's back, so we got him back in here. And we were ready for the quick switch just in case too. So are you back with me?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you just fine. So cool.
Man, not only were we ready, we had like the backup plan and pulled it off semi-flawlessly. But
yeah, that was pretty quick.
I want to touch on one more thing real quick, and then I'll shut up talking about me. But man, one of the cool things about this whole like being broke thing is it's really forced me to like get super creative. Dang near everything at the KBF HQ has been like a repurposing of something. I've got a coffee cup holder over there. That is my new line management system. These are old. I bought these at a garage sale like 10 years ago because they're these. It's like this folding jewelry thing that this woman used to take to like trade shows and set up on a table. These are all like musky lures and stuff that I've had in boxes for years and years and years. And I love the musky fish, but I don't like to post it because it's kind of like fly fishing and musky fishing is like my fishing. And so I get to put my musky lures on display, and then I'll just use them when I need them. I'll just take them off my backdrop and put them in my box and go fishing, and then put them back on the backdrop. But the HQ is coming together really nice. There's some cool stuff happening. I'm so blessed with you knuckleheads out there that are part of this big old crazy family. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, so I'll wait. And if he does, then I'll say it later. But a fan, follower, friend, family member, whatever the heck you want to call it, a fellow knucklehead reached out to me and says, "Hey, I know you've gotten broken into at the HQ twice. You know, let me help you get a security system."
Yep.
Did some research, found a security system that was affordable. He made a donation to cover the security system. I have it sitting right over there, like right over there on that table. I'm going to install it tomorrow, get it all set up. And then I think I'll be able to even share the feed on some live feeds and stuff like that, where I can cut to different places around the shop. But the studio is coming along nicely. The rigging shop is coming along nicely. Both offices are coming along nicely. My office is going to be like dang near like a shrine to my military career. And it's been very therapeutic for me to do that. And it's one of those things. I put all that stuff in a box and tried to like not think about it for 6, 7, 8 years. And it just started kind of rearing its ugly head. And, you know, I've been through the fire with the whole mental health thing. Nowhere near as bad as 99% of the people out there, but I got through it, got a different perspective on it. And I've got a new lease on life. I've got the best relationship with my kids I've ever had. Great setup here in Huntsville. Great setup with Northern Alabama. All the sponsors are on board with the transition away from TV. So to finish that thing, I'm actually not wasting my money on TV next year. I'm going to do 100% YouTube, digital, Realtree 365, that stuff that we can just put out there. And man, Austin is so good for not just, he's really good as it is, but when you understand how long or not how long he's been doing this, it's unreal how good that kid got as fast as he got there, if that makes sense. I know he is like shooting content and editing content on par with world-class videographers that have been doing it for 10 years or 12 years or 15 years.
Super impressive to see his work.
He's in his second year, and he gets fishing, and he's also probably the best person in the world to call me on my bullshit. So if we're doing something and, you know, another videographer who's like a super passive Canadian might suggest it, and then I go, no, we're not doing that. They'll go, oh, sorry, you know, and they'll just, but Austin's like, no, dude, we need to do this. And I'm like, okay, fine. And the finished product has been just so much better. And every day he's shooting me ideas. Hey, next time we do a shoot, make sure that we do this, this, and this. And that way we can make the videos even better. And, you know, I'll give you one example. We're getting ready to go out on that night fishing trip. I knew I was going to catch a 5 or 6 pound fish. I actually said it on camera before we even went out. So I said, dude, we need to get out there. I need to catch a 5, 6 pounder. I need to show it to the camera. And then I need to do the tip on how I've been catching these fish before we lose light. So Gene and I are paddling out, and we're looking back like, where the hell is Austin? And he's back at the launch, you know, and you can't see the launch once you paddle out because we're launching like in the woods. And so your kayak is still under an overhanging tree until you actually paddle out. So I'm like, what is he doing? Well, then I hear the drone and I'm like, Are you kidding me? This dude is back there wasting time flying the drone while we're trying to get out here and catch some fish and all this other stuff. And if he had asked me, hey, should I fly the drone? I would have been like, no, dude, we got to get out there and catch some fish. But he didn't ask me because he knew better, and he did it. And then the drone footage like makes that video, right? And
it's
then
funny because Matt and I were talking about that yesterday. He's like, where the hell was Austin at? I said, he's got to be off on the bank somewhere because he's not going to try to land it on his kayak. He had to be.
Oh, no. There. He lands it in his kayak all the time. 100%. You'll be out there, ran back to make the cast, and you'll hear, and the drone will come in behind you, and he's over there in the kayak flying it, and he'll fly it in and catch it and put it back in the bag. And oh, dude, yeah, we got so much.
Never mind, Matt. I stand corrected.
That kid is so good. Like I think I even put it in one of the videos. I look over one day, and he is like laying on the bow of the kayak. Right, his belly is on the bow. The end of the kayak is right here, and he's got his head over the end of the kayak, holding a $10,000 camera over the end of the kayak at the water level, just so he can get like a water droplets on a lily pad with the sun in the background shot. And you're just like, are you serious, dude? And then when you see the shot, you're like, oh my God.
He's like studied and he learned well.
Oh, dude, he is working so hard. He grinds, he gets it. And here's the other thing. For my entire life, that kid has tried to beat me fishing, and he has done it on his own. And there's a lot of dads out there. And if I say this and you get offended or whatever, okay, I've never let him win, and he still ain't won. Couple times he actually caught like a big fish and was talking smack, and we're towards the end of the day. He thinks he's got it won, and then I catch a bigger one like right at the end of the day. He has literally cried before where he had the day one, but it is getting harder and harder and harder to beat that sucker because he's gotten so good. And so we're doing that trip. Gene's over there catching like, I'm not going to say dinks because they're like 4-pounders, but he didn't want them to even be on video because I'm catching 7s, 8s. I got 2 6s. I got that 10. He's like, get away from me. And also Gene attracts bugs really bad. So if you shine the light on him, then he's going to be like packed away by the mosquitoes. And Austin was trying to get him to get on camera, and he didn't want to get on camera after he caught the one before dark. But anyway, the reason I'm telling the story is that so Austin goes, man, I think we got a killer video. And I said, dude, here, fish. He's like, no, I'm going to keep filming. I said, dude, fish. 20 minutes later, he's got like a 7-pounder. And the kid's like, yeah, he's a turkey calling machine. Yep. He preps and works harder than anybody I know to get ready for stuff. He deer hunts. He's this year we're going to get into a little bit more of the waterfowl thing. And he's just, dude, one of my proudest accomplishments. And the friction between the two of us makes a better product at the end. And we're just getting to where we're having more and more fun. When we first started working, we had all the financial stress of the divorce, all the strain of all the crap that was going on, him taking a huge pay cut. And then I'm like, I don't even know if I can pay you that, bro. And he's literally just all in. So right now we are both all in, and I am going to share with the world like the process of building your business, or in this case, rebuilding your business from the ground up, and how to do it right the second time so that you can do it the first time. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And that has been the biggest blessing in this last 2 years is that, they say you grow through what you go through. Well, I've grown a lot in the last 2 years because I've gone through it, buddy.
Yep.
But every bit of it has been the mental callousing, the spiritual callousing, the physical callousing for being able to go through. I've gone through stuff in the last 2 years that if any of them had happened 3 years before that, any of them individually would have broke me. And there's been 5 of them that haven't broke me, So that is a testament to the support structure that I've got with knuckleheads like you. I can't tell you, JT, how many times I've been struggling. I've been wiped out. I've been, knocking on the door, giving up. And I get a burp, and I look down on my phone, and it's from JT, and it says, "You good, bro?" And I don't know what it is about that.
I can't use my regular,
but I see
you a shirt for.
I see your smiling face when I get it, right? Yeah. Or I'll just say it. I mean, we're all adults here. I get a sup fucker, SUPFKR, which we're going to do a shirt. It stands for fishing kayak rigging. It's not what you think it is, but it's a sup FKR. And, you know, that's kind of a military brother thing. But when I get those things, it's like drinking an energy drink and you get that second wave, or, you know what I mean? Or it's like, you know, it just fires you up, man. And so I've got 10, 12, 15 people on my buddy notification list. I've set phone reminders in my phone. And I'm sure you're the same way. When I text you back and go, "Hey man, I really needed that right now," you get something out of it. It reminds me then to pick a brother or a sister and shoot a message to them. And it really just is a pay it forward thing. And that's why I wanted to get with you to get the Catch-22 back on track, because with all the crap that's going on, I feel yet again, I have under promoted it. I have under developed it, and we've got a lot of year left. So I want to lean into finishing strong and then setting the table for having an even better Catch-22 in 2024. So pick some winners. We're going to do 10 tonight. We're going to do 15 tomorrow. No, wait.
Why don't you go ahead and call out a couple too?
Yeah. Well, you want to just call them all out, or do you want to spread it out?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, guys. So listen,
let's do 5 now, and then we'll do 5 in a little bit too, because I want to talk about the River Series and some of the other stuff.
Okay, so we're going to do 5 right now at $50. If you are watching this and you know these people, shoot them a text and say, "Hey, Chad called you out as a winner." I'm also going to go in to Fishing Chaos and shoot these folks either a text or an email. And it's going to be real simple. I'm going to text you a picture of the Fish USA gift card, and it is basically an electronic gift card you can use immediately. So the first 5 winners are Jason Wood. And these, in case there's more than one Jason Wood, the first half were pulled from the Any 22 Anywhere leaderboard. So if there's 2 Jason Woods, and I have to clarify it, but because that's kind of a somewhat common name, but Jason Wood, Hayward, HEYWARD Wall, Justin Kvet, KIVETT. Is that another Indiana person?
Sure is. Veteran too. Army veteran.
Good.
He was actually at the Freedom Squad meetup.
So there's a pretty good chance that most of these people are going to be in the Freedom Squad or in your family, because you've been pushing this thing probably as hard as anybody else.
I'm thinking of Ryan Lilly, but Kvet is like a philosophical angler.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So Jason Wood, Hayward Wall, Justin Kvet. Did I say Jason the first time?
Yes.
Justin Kvet. Okay, sorry. Justin Kvet, KIVETT. Jason Denise. When I read this name, I kind of laughed. Have you guys seen the Key and Peele where he does the names in high school?
Nice.
He says D Nice. So the name is spelled like D Nice. And then Howard Lyon, LYON. So first five $50 gift card winners: Jason Wood, Hayward Wall, Justin Kvet, Jason Denise or D-Nice or Denise, and Howard Lyon. You guys shoot me a text, 757-348-2232. Or you can go to Catch-22 and literally under Tournament Director, if you just click on it, that will text or call me. And then the email address is linked up in there is also my email address. So Jason Wood, Hayward Wall, Justin Kvet, Jason Denise, Howard Lyon, and we'll do 5 more after we cover some more ground. So what you got? What you want to talk about?
I wanted to pop back real quick to talk about your channel and your accomplishments too, because while a lot of people know you as an educational kayak fishing and the head of the KBF with all the tournaments and national championship and the big side of it too, a lot of people don't realize your actual subscriber base does, but you have so many, and it's in every comment, in every video, of guys like me, Jeremy, Matt, other veterans out there, a lot of veterans that have struggled with PTSD and life itself struggles. And and I know you don't know it. And you said, you know, you've had struggles in the past with, I know, with dealing, that everybody reaches out for you and to you as if you have some magic elixir to make that better. And there really isn't one. Everybody's got to find their way. Everybody, you know, but like you always say, for each one to reach one, that doesn't always just go to fishing. Sometimes it's just being there, being a friend, and being a set of ears for somebody else to talk to listen, to feel loved, wanted, needed, or just to communicate and stuff like that too. So I guess with all of that, with every video you make, you know, and I know you read your comments, and you feel that warm embrace for those out there that look forward to each and every video that you put out, regardless of what the subject is, because it gives them a place to come back to as like a little sense of community as well. So, you know, that what you've built over time and years, it has come a lot, you know, blood, sweat, and tears on your effort, but know that it makes a difference. Every time you talk about Heroes on the Water or any of those other organizations that go out and work with the Homeland Heroes, you know, our first responders, veterans, you know, you still have that impact. And like the charity work that we're doing this year with FISHOPS, you know, coming back again to taking care of those organizations that go out and further outreach. And as we go into fish ops, camp ops, things that we're planning down the road, you know, like you said, make it to October 1st. And then we start working yet again on keeping it building. And that's why I harass you so much with the Catch22, with the Knucklehead. I know, I mean, I like fishing the derbs and stuff too. It's fun to go to the NC and do all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, many of us are here for the more recreational, therapeutic side of it. And, you know, you can have it all and we can do it all. And that's, you know, but, you know, it's, you know, I was talking about your plaque, and I said, that's my goal someday. I said, I'm going to get there faster than you did. But like you said, I got the different tools that you've had. But the more of us that there are that are doing it, that are sharing it, especially sharing what we love, the more people we can reach and spread that word too. So I love the brother and sisterhood that we have here among many of our, you know, various communities. You, Joe Drowns, and the guys at Heroes on the Water, and all these other guys that are doing exactly what we're doing. You know, we're giving people another outlet to go out and enjoy the outdoors and not just be cooped up all the time. So I wanted to throw some kudos at you for that work and kind of acknowledge what you mean to the community out here when, you know, there's so much other crap out there. And, you know, like Duke and that, you know, the stuff he's coming up with fish ops and, you know, doing the same kind of thing and, you know, furthering the cause, so to speak, too. So I'll shut up about that and we'll talk about smallies. But
man, let me back you up on one thing. And I do truly appreciate what you said. Yesterday, somebody commented on one of my videos, and I also appreciated you acknowledging the fact that I do read my comments. I think I probably read more of my comments than any YouTuber over 100,000 subscribers in the game. I try to answer every single one that I possibly can. I read them all. And if there's a comment that I don't answer, it's because I answer so many comments sometimes that YouTube blocks me and says, you've commented too many comments. So it makes you put you like in timeout. And a lot of people don't realize that. And then what happens is you get sidetracked and then you end up forgetting about it, or you get, you know, whatever, and you have to come back to it later. So it looks like you answered all these, but you ignored the other ones. And I try to avoid that. But you hit the nail on the head when you said that part about when I first put my number out and I said, call me. And then I had all these people calling me. My problem was, and this is my learning about myself thing, is that I have this mindset that when you bring me a problem, I got to fix it. Right? I got to like, okay, my brain starts going. I start writing notes down. I start texting people. And I got overwhelmed when I initially put up the veterans outreach thing because I said, call me. And immediately what started happening was I started trying to help. Then I realized very quickly I was grossly underprepared for being able to help. And this has been an exercise in being a better channel host, being a better father, being a better and a father to my son and a father to my daughter. Because if you got boys and girls, you know you got a father, a daughter, and a son, completely different. So, and then being a podcast host now with the relaunch of the podcast, you know, I'm actually immersing myself in the active listening thing instead of talking over people. And, you know, because I get so excited about this crap. It's not I'm trying to be rude, but I just like, But what I had to learn about this process with the veteran thing is just shut up, because they don't want you to fix it. They just want you to listen. Mm-hmm. So I can't tell you how many times I've sit in my camper. I get a text, hey man, you got a minute to chat? This is so-and-so, staff sergeant. And they, you know how the criteria comes in, staff sergeant 92 to 94, you know, 87 to, you know, whatever. We kind of credential ourselves. And then I'll send a joke back that says, yeah, man, I almost did that, but then I passed the ASVAB and they wouldn't let me, so I had to join the Navy, you know, stuff like that. So I try to give them a little bit of a funny jab. Or, you know, I had one 2 days ago, a guy messaged me and says, hey, man, and I saw one of your videos where you've got this fish ops thing. I'd like to learn more about it, but, you know, I really struggle with this, and this since I got out of the military. And then he texted, I said, oh, what'd you do in the military? He said, oh, I was Air Force from 97 to 04. And I said, wait, I thought you said you're in the military. And then he started laughing. I started laughing. It was a standard, you know, every other branch of the military,
too cold. What?
Every other branch of the military makes fun of the Air Force. I'll admit it. We make fun of them because they got it better than we do. And so we ended up jumping on the phone. He had some very serious, you know, stuff he was dealing with. And I just remember I didn't have to say anything. For the most part, I just did oh man, yeah, dude. You know, just the active listening thing, and just listened. And when I got off the phone, it was maybe like an hour later, I got a text message that was like, hey man, I really appreciate that. That helped more than you know. And I was like, I didn't do anything. But that is the thing, is the talking part. See, guys like you and me get to get this done because we have a huge network and a huge group of family members out there in our subscriber base and our follower base and all that kind of stuff that we can vent to. I got in a lot of trouble for a few years because my ass would vent right here on a live to the world, get a machete out and start swinging. And a lot of people don't have that outlet. And so I've literally learned that I can just listen. That's the least I can do. I have.
Oh man, I hope it's not my internet acting up. Is Chad froze up or is Gramps froze up, folks? Please don't let my internet go down. Okay, Chad froze up. All right. I will text him and let him know. So while Chad is frozen up, and I'll watch for him to come back too. Yep, he just dropped, so he's probably going to pop out and hop back in. I'm going to go ahead and start a giveaway drawing. And just hashtag Gramps in the comments, and we'll use that for our drawing later towards the end of the show. So just type Chad's doing the Devo. So go ahead and throw in hashtag Gramps in the chat, and we'll do a drawing at the end of the show, and I'll put together a bait package because, you know, I love sending out bait packages. But wanted to give a shout out to Brown Bait Co. Brendan is he's doing some custom baits for me and Uncle Jeremy. I say Uncle Jeremy to my kids so many times that now I called him Uncle Jeremy. How funny is that? Me and Jeremy, he's sending us the baits to play with and test out too. So we're going to be checking those out as well. So Brendan, appreciate you, brother. That's really awesome. We look forward to throwing some of those monster baits and, you know, your personal creations too. So we're going to have fun making some videos around those as well. But I'll keep an eye out for Chad to get back in. But, you know, I wanted to give a quick update too, because if you guys, you know, watched on Instagram, and this video probably won't be out for another week or so. Probably the week after next, just depends on how much time I get to edit. Jeremy and I jumped in the kayaks and went to a creek and went chasing some smallies. And I went ahead and signed up for a derb that was going on. And man, we had the wildest, best day chasing smallies, because this is just not something I really focus on and target. But this day, that's what we were doing. We're like, we're going to go jump on. I'm going to jump in this derb. We're both in the KBF smallmouth series. We want to get some fish on the board. And man, we were smacking them. I mean, it's funny because Jeremy caught his later in the day, and I caught mine early in the day. But, you know, he was letting me have first cast going up, you know, up the river side that we were on, just so I can get a limit in the tournament. The whole goal was just to catch 2, because if I could catch a couple of smallies, oh, that'd be so cool. And I did. I mean, immediately I caught like 2 10-inch, you know, fish. And then I caught a 12, and then I caught a 15, then I caught a 17, then I caught a 16 something. And then I caught a, you know, like a 13 something too. Ended up coming in third in this whole tournament. And I actually led the first couple of days. And then there he is. Let's see if we got him back. Did your phone overheat? Yeah, let's see. Sounds like I think he's still frozen up too, so it's hard telling. I can see you, but you got to give me some audio. Yeah, you're super laggy right now. But anywho, we had a blast chasing smallmouth bass that day. And realistically, it was because Chad started this Smallie series, and I was like, I need to go catch some fish to put on this. And it's like I told Jeremy, I want to join this because I want to have a reason to go find smallmouth bass. The funny thing is, the river that runs near my small town, they're in there, but they're very few, it seems like, and hard to find. So, you know, I've been traveling around a little bit, and it's funny, the place that Jeremy and I were was literally a creek right next to Camp Atterbury where Jeremy fishes like all of the time. Chris wanted to know what baits I'm using. I'll tell you, easy. If I watch any smallmouth video, people are throwing whopper ploppers, people are throwing finesse jigs, wacky rigs, things like that. And I started off and I caught most of my bass on a whopper plopper. And the bite died at about 10:30. After that, it was like, but the funny thing was in the days after, so when early in this tournament series runs 5 days, you pick which day you want to fish from Thursday through Monday. And so it had rained like Wednesday night. So the water was pretty stained for the guys on Thursday. It was a little bit cleaner on Friday when I fished. And then the last guy who fished they fished on Sunday. And I think they pretty much had the cleanest water of all. And boy, they smacked them. I mean, some of the guys smacked them on Saturday. Some of the guys smacked them on Sunday. But in this section, it's known for having some 12, 13, 14, good 15-inch fish. But there's generally not a lot of big ones. Somebody will find one. There was a dude that caught a 20-inch smallie in there. And I think there might have been like 2 19s and maybe an 18. But my 17, 16 and a half, 15, 13, and 12 was good enough for 74.5 inches and got me a third place finish. So I was really stoked about that. But Jeremy, I later found out that the guy who caught the 20, even though he didn't catch a bunch of others, the guy who caught the 20 was on sugar. So he was somewhere in the same river we were. And for those of you who are not familiar with Grubby, the grassroots bass yakking, they pick like an area when they're doing these waterways. So over in Columbus, so the White River runs through there, and then there's a bunch of creeks that feed into it. And inbounds is pretty much like there's an area that they kind of wall off. And as long as you're on either the main river or one of the few creeks that feeds into it, then that's good. But it was so cool to be, you know, up in this creek. and find those too. So, I mean, it was really cool. And I'm sure Jeremy's going to be spending a lot more time there because it's really close to where he likes to fish, anyway. And then there's another fork of that river farther north that's got some really goods in it. And that's where I got my PB earlier this year, the 18.5. And then Jeremy caught that 20-inch smallie just upriver from where I caught mine too. So yeah, Jeremy and Matt and I we're gonna go. I think all the tournaments and stuff will be finishing up with that, with that soon. So we'll give it like a little cooling off period, and then we're going to go really smack that river up there, hunting for some bigger smallies once all the derbs are getting it done too. But yeah, that picture that Jeremy with his cigarette in his mouth holding up that 20-inch after me and Bobby had already gone up through there, and of course he threw his damn worm in there and caught a monster. But that's the way it happens too. But this last Saturday, that was that was some of the most fun that I've had in a long time, because even the little ones they're flying out of the water and losing their minds. But yeah, for me, most of them were caught on a whopper plopper. Do you remember what I catch them on? Whopper plopper early, and then I caught my big one on a wacky rig as a follow up to one who missed the whopper plopper. But it was such a blast too. So I can't thank Chad enough for putting that smallie series together, because it motivated me and Jeremy to go fish that Saturday, and we had an absolute blast. So we're gonna be spending a lot more time now that tournament season's kind of ending to try to go find more smallies to put up for the smallie series too. So you back and working? Let's get some audio on you.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
Technical difficulties.
It's all good.
So my phone was on personal hotspot, and then I got the wireless internet here, and they were dueling back and forth so I had to kill one of them completely.
I got you. I was kind of filling everybody in on the derb that I was fishing, because I was texting Chad during the day, and I was like, this is the greatest crap ever. So he was enjoying me, just, chasing fish that I just never chased, because in my life, I have always been about largemouth. I got to find a bigger, my PB was when I lived in Texas for a little while, the 867, and I have literally spent my life trying to find something bigger than that, which is really a pain to do in Indiana. But I never really considered smallies, and so I was so happy that he put that. Yeah, there you go. I was so happy when he put that series together, because it motivated me to want to go jump in the creeks and the rivers to try to do that. And of course, that series he did with John from Creek Fishing Adventures kind of got me fired up. Our good friend Lynn Yester is always talking about the smallies, and we were actually going to go meet her and Alex up at St. Clair until the event up there got canceled. But we're still going to get with those two and go chase some smallies up north one of these days. But I love that, because it's going to give me a whole new reason to learn to chase those bronze fish and play in the rivers more, and learn more about being a smallie angler too. So I mean, even the littlest ones just fight and jump and terrorize, and it was a blast.
I haven't announced it yet, but we've talked about it offline. But one of the things that we plan to do next year is to get away from everything being around competition. We've talked about this a lot, and I said it a couple years ago, and then got right back into overdoing the competition thing. But why do we have to have a tournament to all show up on St. Clair? Let's get a couple of really good smallmouth seminars together, go out, fish, come sit down and share information on how to catch smallies, then go back out and fish again and come back in. And I mean, how awesome would it be to have a weekend where we just put up a fun tournament? There's no entry fee. Everybody loads their fish just so we can kind of share our stuff, put it in the Catch22, whatever. You can still fish for the smallie virtual series, but we don't have to have a tournament to show up and bow up. You know what I mean? And I'm planning on doing a lot more of that next year, especially around North Alabama, doing some stuff in Clay County, Florida, as I, finish up that contract there. And I want to finish what I was saying real quick before I got disconnected. You just have to listen. And once you get to the point where you feel overwhelmed, what I do is I have a card that I write out and I stick it in front of me. And the minute that I start feeling anxiety about not being able to help the person, I'll say, hey, look, JT, listen, I appreciate you calling. I did the best I could to listen, did the best I could to help where I can. Here's what I think you need to do to take it from here. Do what I did. Reach out to some of the resources that are available to you.
Yep.
We've put a few of them on the Kayak Bass Fishing website at kayakbassfishing.com/veterans. So you can just type that right in. If you ever forget it, you don't have to find the link. You can literally type in kayakbassfishing.com, put the / and write out veterans. And then there's resources there. We're working on a revamp of the website. So when the new page comes out, there'll be resources, there'll be embedded videos. And there's been a renewed energy here for me in that I've pretty much figured out I don't give a flip about money other than what money allows me to do and how it allows me to help. And so I initially started Fish Ops under KBF, and the goal was to ultimately make Fish Ops a B Corp. And a B Corp is a corporation with a cause. You know, think of Bombas socks or Tom's shoes or something like, or any of those brands where when you purchase this is what we commit to doing. And it's been staring me right in the face. There's like a B right in the middle of KBF. And so I'm just going to focus on over the next 2 years, starting to work towards meeting the criteria to turn KBF itself into a B Corp, where 25% of the net proceeds off the top are going to charitable missions and charitable causes, and most of them being in and around veterans, homeland heroes, mental health issues, scholarships, and things like that, but not all of it. Some of it could just be, here's an opportunity for us to help the community, and I want to be put in a position to do that. And so when people ask me, what's the why? Gene actually said in my camper, and he said, what's your why for KBF?
Yep.
And he's going to come over and film it so he can ask the questions, and I just answer them, and we're going to share that. But really the Cliff's Notes version of it is, my why is, no matter how many times I've tried to pivot, I can't get away from the draw to this group of knuckleheads that feel like a big ass family, and this obligation to help and to give back, because I've been blessed beyond measure with this sport, with this life, with this community. And I lost sight of that for a few years, focused on the wrong things, got away from that direct connection to the community, and felt like I had to be up here and have my people take care of this. That's absolute bullshit. My people is everybody. Our people is everybody. And I knew that last year when I stressed over that Veterans Day meeting for 6 weeks, and I just could never get it to feel like it was what it needed to be. So then we sort of canceled it and just said, let's have 8 or 10 guys get together. Yep. And I think there was 7 of us, and Matt's wife, Serena, and then we all just sit around. And I mean, I'm not kidding you. When y'all left, like, the vision was clear. I still had mountains in front of me. I still had boulders to move out of the way. I still had garbage to clean up, but the remodel was clear of what I needed to do. And I had a comment on a video 2 days ago where a woman said, the only knuckleheads are the ones that put way too much crap on their boat, blah, blah, blah. And I think she came into the thing late, not understanding that knucklehead's a term of endearment. And I responded something to the effect of like, hey, welcome to the community. Knucklehead around here is a term of endearment. And who's to say what's too much? You, me, the internet police, the kayak police, whatever. Why don't you just like show up and have some fun and break bread with the people that are here, and you do you, let them do them. And then there was like quite a few knuckleheads that chimed in, and it's like, yeah, if you're not a knucklehead, get the hell out of here. That kind of thing. It's like, that was pretty sweet, but it was like, I do one thing. I fish. Well, I call it one thing, hunt and fish. That's pretty much what I do. I hunt and fish. And, I haven't been able to hunt as much as I want to. So this year I'm going to be a little selfish. I'm going to cut down on the challenges. I'm going to cut down on some of the stuff that we've got going on in the winter. A lot of that's going to be so I can really hyper focus on building out a content schedule for the following year so I can make this channel even more successful, so I can reach more people, so I can give myself more financial independence to where I'm not as sponsor dependent. I can weather the storm of any financial difficulties instead of having 2-3 dominoes fall and then I'm in the hurt locker. And man, I don't know that I've ever been more motivated, and I can't articulate how that comes from that strength in numbers thing, right? It comes from the fact that we're all like a family here. And even the knuckleheads in our group that like to give each other crap and that, I mean, we've got turds. I mean, everybody's got turds in their family. That don't mean they're not family. You know what I mean? You can't pick your family. And when you become a kayak fisherman, you know, there's knuckleheads in this, there's real knuckleheads in this community. The definition, I mean, stupid person, like, but they're our family because we all live under one umbrella. You know what I mean? 100%. Whether we like it or hate it. And to me, that fundamental shift in that way of thinking has took a lot of pressure off of me. And realizing that I got to go out and create content first that shows me doing it and loving it and using it to get through my tough times is what's designed to inspire the next person to do it. And what's so amazing is how that has become the narrative in my comment section and the text messages that I get and the responses that I get and just the blessings that get showered on me because of the position that I'm in. And I don't feel worthy of it, right? That I struggled with for a long time.
Yep.
I'm a poor white trash kid from rural Louisiana whose family had to move because of some trouble my dad got into to go to Georgia to then be in rural Georgia. And I got to a point where I didn't feel like I deserved any of this stuff. I had survivor's guilt because I look around and see all the blessings that I got. And what about this dude and that dude that didn't get that opportunity, right?
Yep.
And then I had to realize, and somebody, I'm sorry that I even forget who it was, but somebody said to me when I was trying to explain that feeling, they said, how about you take that and spin it around and say, you have an even bigger obligation to maximize what you get out of this life because you're given that second chance for all the ones that weren't. That was like, that was one of them, like, your face got all flushed for weird. Somebody started peeling an onion next to me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, weird deal.
Yeah.
And I also used to have this like alter ego, not right, you know, where that's who I am. I'm a cut up, I'm a clown. I goof off. I like to make people laugh. And I got so serious about this crap that I wasn't having fun anymore. I wasn't conveying that to other people. That's why this is so crazy. There's 5 years. I wouldn't want to watch me. I was miserable. And I think I projected that misery. So it's an even bigger blessing that there's so many people that believed in it in spite of me, you know.
Here goes the sausage fight again.
Oh, Lord. Listen, I'm not going to take sausage pronunciation corrections from a Yankee, no matter how I slice it or no matter how wrong I was. But anyway, yeah, he'll forever have that one on me. So
they are the official sponsor of sausage for the Atlanta Braves. That's how I literally call him as like, hey, I know what the real name is.
Listen, let's just go ahead and say it. So Matt comes down, asked me about this sausage from Alabama. And I said, I had been at the grocery store maybe 3-4 days before that. And I said it what I thought was the right way, which is actually the right way. And a guy there corrected me.
Yep.
And thinking that I was amongst family and friends, I simply asked Matt, I was like, I don't know if it's Kanakwa or Kaneka, because I've heard it both ways in the last week. Yep. And now it's like, oh, he doesn't even know how to say the sausage that's from an hour away from him in Alabama. So I won't be transparent and honest with Matt Kreitz ever again, because if you do, that dude will He will have that in his round ready to anytime he gets a chance.
We're relentless regardless.
I love it. Yeah. And I mean, I get it. He was in the Army. There's very few times you get one on a Navy guy. So when you get it, you got to make that your San Juan Hill. You know, you got to stick your flag in it and you got to run with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So that being said, all of this stuff really helped things come into focus. And as I started trying to decide the future of KBF, it was at these pivotal moments when I was in this, like, what should I do next, that people started piling on. And I'm talking about unsolicited coincidences. Hey, you should do a smallmouth series. Nah. Hey, you should do a smallmouth series. Nah. Hey, you should do a smallmouth series. And I said to a guy, look, man, give me a call and I'll tell you why I can't do it. So here I am all fired up about, I'm trying to do everything I'm already doing better. I'm trying not to invest in other things. I'm trying not to get the focus divided. And the person said, oh, dude, I'm not talking about getting crazy with it. Just do what you did when you started KBF. Create a challenge series. Challenge people to show how much interest there is in smallmouth fishing. Challenge people to go out and catch smallmouth, and then just make it online and let it run its course. And so I called Nick from Fish USA and said, hey, I'm going to put some of the budget of the gift cards towards this smallmouth thing. I want to fire it up. If I get 100 anglers, it'll be a success story, and I'll give a kayak away and some of this other stuff. And I think we had 100 in 4 days. It was insane. And now we are at like 160 something. Haven't checked it in a few days. Troy Wines goes out and catches a legit smallmouth of a lifetime, a 23 and a quarter-inch smallmouth. And he called me and said, dude, I got this 23-inch smallmouth. It's kind of beat up. I think what I need to do is just take a video of it and, you know, show that it's alive, and then video of the release, right? And I said, yeah, that's perfect. Hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, I caught that 10-pound bass. I called him back. Wow. Hey, bro, next time I go fishing, I'm calling you to call me because you might be luck charm. And he was like, well, good luck, man. Well, thanks, man. I'm glad I would help. I get like an assist. And I was like, yes, you do. And then he forgot to say something, called me back. An hour later, I caught that one that's almost 9 pounds. So, hey, listen, if you guys, Troy can maybe make some side money, just shoot him a text and say, hey, Troy, I'm going fishing tomorrow. Call me at like 5:30, because the dude's like 2 for 2 with calling me, and I caught giant bass. So,
man, that's amazing. That's incredible. So somebody asked about the official measuring board for the Smalley series. That would be the catch board. And use code GRAMPS10 on the Catch website to save 10% on their products. Thanks to Duke and former Nick, who set that up for me. And man, so speaking of which, I mean, 2 things real fast. Tom Brewster, I don't know if you remember to get a hold of Duke, because you did a giveaway for a catch board a while back. I think the last time that you were on, and Tom Brewster won that drawing. I can't remember if I texted you or emailed you that, but I wanted to do that as a reminder, because you were doing a custom catch giveaway. And I know you.
I dropped the ball on that.
He said he couldn't wait to get it, so I don't know if you submitted it or not.
He said that on tonight's live stream.
Yeah, he said he couldn't wait to get it, so I assume it's not there yet.
Shoot me a text, 757-348-2232. I'll follow up with Duke on it, and we'll get that. Make sure that it's being taken care of.
Yeah, so
definitely shoot me that text, and I'll follow up with it tomorrow.
I know how that goes. So yeah, everybody gets busy, because you and Duke are probably the 2 busiest people I know.
I'm trying to get less busy and more focused. So
yeah, 100% got you.
Hey, before we forget, let's do these other 5 $50 giveaways.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Guys, this is 500. Tomorrow I'm going to give away another 1,000. So
everybody be sure to be watching tomorrow on Facebook and YouTube for Chad's live, where he's got some other stuff. Just
the Facebook group, just the Kayak Bass Fishing Facebook group. That's where I'm doing my live tomorrow night.
Okay.
Kayak Bass Fishing Facebook group. I'm going to focus on doing all of my live updates there. And then the podcast will be done, released on the alt where you get all your podcasts, and it'll be released on YouTube in little excerpts. All right.
Okay.
So the second 5 of the 10, first one, Joel Spear, Speer, Monday Hackett. And I literally had to like double check that this is even a real name.
Yeah.
Because like that's like a bluegrass lead singer of like the greatest bluegrass band that ever existed name. Monday MUNDY Hackett. Monday Hackett. I love it. That's like one of the best names ever. Alan Bowen, ALAN, Bowen, BOWEN. Chris, man, I'm gonna screw this up, but I'm gonna say it like it's spelled. Shalale or Shillelagh. SHILALE. Chris Shillelagh. I will also post this list tomorrow on the Kayak Bass Fishing Facebook group and try to tag each and every one of you guys. And then the last winner from the Catch22 Challenge Series, just a reminder what all of these are from, is they're all from people who have participated in the Catch22 Challenge Series for this year, is Troyce Corrales. And Troyce is TROICE Corrales. And yeah, Troyce Corrales. So one more time, I'm going to run through the whole list. That way I can maybe make this into a clip that I pull off and throw it back on the Instagram story or something. The 10 winners of $50 gift cards from the folks at Fish USA are Jason Wood, Hayward Wall, Jason Kivett, Kivett, Jason Denise or D-Nice, Howard Lyon, Lyon, Joel Spear, Monday Hackett, Mundy Hackett, Alan Bowen, Chris Shillelagh or Shillelagh, and Troyce Corrales. You guys won $50 gift certificates. All you got to do is shoot me a text, 757-348-2232. Hey, this is Troyce Corrales. I won a $50 gift card. Don't send me a text that says, hey, I won on Gramps last night. I don't know which one to sign off. I don't know what name to put on the card, So please do me a favor. Last night, I won a $50 gift card, Catch22. Here's my name. Boom. And then I'll shoot you the gift card. Yeah, man. I think that's all I got.
I saw our good buddy Sam Jones in the chat. Had to say hi.
Man, Sam didn't fish for the whole year. He was like a little wind-up.
He's murdering us in Indiana right now.
And then just, like one of them little cards you pull back, and then when you let it go, it's just, he's been on a tear, man.
Dude, he killing us. We did a Hoosier Bass Yakking live with me, him, and two other hammers in the state. And then he goes in and jumps in a monthly and puts a spank. And he's got like 420s on the board right now. I haven't had time to fish. It comes out like, oh, hi, my name is Sam Jones. I'm whooping y'all's ass.
All right.
And he's doing so. I'm glad to see Sam. He got moved. He's got settled, and now he's smoking us all. So glad to see Jones and the fish back out on the water.
And man, I got to tell you, JT, we got another one, maybe even two, giant bass banger videos coming out that Austin's got in the pipeline. I've got a licking my wounds lesson learned video when I went to Clay County and fished my butt off for 3 days. Didn't catch a fish over 15 inches. It's not an indictment on Clay County. It's an indictment on I knew what I should have done. Because when I got back to Alabama and I did it, I started catching giant fish. And a friend, fan, follower, whatever you want to call it, started off a follower, then became a fan, and is now a friend, has texted me 3 pictures from Clay County in the last 2 months of an 11.5, a 12.6, and a 12.4 or something like that. So now I'm all jacked up about going back down there, wishing I would have night fished. That's going to be my when it gets so cold in Alabama that I've already killed enough deer to fill the freezer, and the fishing gets to where it's so painful that you can barely hold the rod and the rivers are frozen and all that good stuff. I'm going to head down to Florida in the winter and go down there and do a fish camp, do a meet and greet, do some stuff, try to go chase some tarpon in the Keys. Just do that stuff that enriches your soul.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. Anyway, working on the art thing again, man. When I get stressed out, I get my pen out. I did this last night, just jacking around. I drew a picture. I did this thing where I was like, I'm going to go to Instagram and I'm going to scroll through pictures and I'm going to close my eyes, and whatever I open up, the picture I stop on, I'm going to draw that person. So that's the person that I stopped on last night. And it's pretty damn good if I do say so myself. And enjoyed it. I'm still if you haven't done this to help get your mind right, get yourself a damn journal. Writing stuff down is almost like talking to somebody. It's like you write it down, and it's almost like it's like going out your arm into the paper and out of you, So that's been a really I don't know who told me about it. I think I saw a YouTube video about it. Like Ed Mylett, Mylett. The guy's like a real hardcore motivational guy and business guru and all that kind of stuff. He had a video. He talked about journaling, and I started doing it. And it sounds stupid to me when I first heard it. You mean like a diary? Like I'm a 12-year-old girl? Nope, it works. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, so answer the phone for a friend, or carry on a text conversation, or just listen. And then when you get to the point where you feel like you can't help anymore, that's when you offer up resources. And we by no means have the greatest resource page built yet, but we're working on improving it. But if you have resources to share, put them in your phone. That way you don't have to go look them up. You can have a resource link. I made a note so I can just text it to somebody that's got hypertext links in it, as veterans resources. Whatever you can do to be there for somebody, when they shoot you that message, is a camaraderie builder. It's a team builder, and it helps you as much as it helps them. You know what I mean? Yep. And I think the thing that we've got to remember, and I'm so glad that so many more people are talking about it these days, because it was so taboo for so many years, but like, it's okay to not be okay. You can not be okay. Tom said, what's that number again? It's
go ahead, give your number again.
7-348-2232. Do not make,
because when we grew up, it wasn't we just kept it in, it's always the whole suck it up, rub dirt on it.
Buttercup. Yeah, exactly.
That was our, most of us were raised with, Vietnam veterans or that generation of folks. And, it was just it's a different time and place now. And we want to help people heal, reach out, get help as much as possible. And, and not be left in the dark. And that's why even on my YouTube banner, pretty much everywhere else, I put the Veterans Crisis Hotline up there, because I want that available to anybody who needs it every time. So yeah, it's 100%. It's a new day and age, and we know people are broken and need help. And let's help everybody, heal up. And for me, I never went to war. My dad did. My oldest son did. Many, many, many of my friends did. And so for me, my duty as a veteran is to help in any way possible, be there for somebody who has been through all of that. And like you said, just listen and be an ear for whenever they need it. You know what I'm saying?
What's crazy, JT, is that we've got these campaigns, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. We've got all these big campaigns. The most impactful, in a negative way, stuff that I did in the military wasn't the combat stuff.
Yeah.
It was the stuff we did under the humanitarian umbrella. That were the real atrocities that I saw, the stuff that sticks with me to this day, the stuff that's, haunts you, if you will. And there's not a lot of emphasis on that, not a lot of resources. When I first started trying to get help through the VA, the first thing they want to do is they want to document the campaign. What campaign was this under? Rolling Thunder, Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, all those other things. And I was like, S4 in Darfur. But like, what the hell is S4? Like stabilization force, where we're doing these missions in Africa when there was an absolute genocide going on, and nobody in America seemed to give a flying flip about it. You didn't see any celebrities protesting about it. Nobody talked about it. And just some of that stuff was the stuff that, like, I hate to use the word haunted. That's the stuff that when I really started unpacking stuff, that was the hardest to deal with, because, when I did most of my combat stuff, I was 19 to 22, 23. I did some more combat support missions, a little bit later in my career, but most of it was when I was young. But the humanitarian stuff that we did, that crazy stuff, was a little bit later, so I was a little bit older, and had kids of my own, and then see these kids just laying in the streets, and you see, bodies of mothers with a kid handcuffed to it, and just stuff that you're just like, how's this happening? How are we as Americans letting this happen? And then probably the hardest part was the part of the feeling of helplessness, of not being able to affect change. And I think that was part of my journey into the darkness, was going back through all of that stuff and feeling guilty about not being able to do more. And, just the crap that you were exposed to that ain't normal. And we don't take care of our people who did that. We're not taking care of our homeland heroes right now who faced similar atrocities at home, with overflowing nursing homes, overflowing hospital rooms, too many beds. Where no matter where you stand politically on the pandemic, a lot of people died, and and there was a lot of uncertainty, and people who had spent their entire life dedicated and committed to helping people were helpless, and were watching people die around them, and there was nothing that they could do about it. And we've got a whole generation of healthcare providers that are in the same boat that generation of operators that I was in were in when we were doing Darfur and Kosovo and Somalia, Mogadishu, and all these places where there was way more crap that I saw there than I ever saw in, like, quote unquote real combat.
Yep.
And we just don't address that stuff, man. We just don't. And the ability to talk to somebody who gets it is like half the battle. That's half the battle, in my opinion. It might even be more than half, because it empowers you to start talking about it, which then gives you hopefully the momentum to get to talk to somebody that can help you, and not thinking you can fix it all. You know what I mean? The final revelation, and I don't want to do a Debbie Downer thing here, but the final revelation and breakthrough that I had was a doctor that was basically doing most of his stuff was Christian based. And he said, he started off with, and I said what I was thinking. And he said, all right, we're going to go back before that. Everything had started when I joined the military. He's like, no, we're going to go way before that. And then when I told him, about my childhood and some of this other stuff, and he said, well, that's the problem. And then I'm like, all right, how do we fix it? He's like, we don't. The only person, the only psychiatrist, psychologist, doctor, counselor that was honest, every other one of them told me how we were going to fix it. And then when we couldn't fix it, I lost faith in everything that they said. This guy said, you don't fix it. You learn how to live with it. You don't fix it. You learn how to deal with it. You don't fix it. You learn how to develop mechanisms and things that will help you cope. It will help you live your life as normal as you can, not thinking you're not going to go back and fix a brain chemistry that was rewired when you were 3, 5, 7, 8 years old. You just don't. It's not how it works. But there's things that you can do that will keep you from being triggered. And it's so crazy that was the answer to the test. And we live in a society where we're so triggered, and people prey on triggering people, and we work on triggering each other. And then as soon as one triggered person meets another triggered person, it's like a war of thumbs, and they're off to the races. Both sides are sitting in a room turning into these pressure cookers, and nobody's ever won an internet argument. The internet is undefeated. And that's what I hope to inspire, is figuring out how to articulate down the road where the light bulb came on for me, and how I was able to learn things like, if I get triggered, stop, draw a picture, stop, write it down in a book, stop, put on a headset and go for a walk, stop, get on a bicycle and go ride for 30 minutes, stop, go, drag your kayak through the woods and go catch a big bass. Those things to me have been such a blessing to learn how to do. And I say learn because they should be common sense, but they're not, because we're not taught how to defuse a situation, because everything around us is about escalatory behavior. That person said this, F that motherfucker, say this, F that motherfucker, and everything. Our politicians do it. Our influencers do it. Our celebrities do it. Our leaders do it. Our coaches do it. Our star athletes, our star, whatever. Everybody participates in escalatory behavior. And if we could just figure out how to get past that, we'll have a completely
because you've had to pull me back, because I'm like, hey, the Karens over there at the nation are saying, and you're like, dude, we're not here for that. We're here to do other bigger, better things, and I'm like, no, but you're like, dude, it's, and I'm like, but you gotta. So, I think I'm like defending Chad, and I'm like, you just leave it alone, get past it, and, do bigger, better, be better, and you're 100% right too.
And I had to learn that, man. That's not something I came up with on my own. That's something that like people taught me. And then when I started really looking at it, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Because I'm not going to say that somebody hasn't called me in the past and go, dude, they're saying this about you. I'm going to go say this. And I'm like, well, yeah, but also make sure you say this that way. But what did that accomplish?
Nothing.
It poured gas on the fire. You wrestle with the pig, and the pig loves the mud, all those things. And, I've just, you want to know what I'll tell you this, and we'll jump off here, but this is going to sound bad, but I'm just going to tell you, it's going to sound bad. Here's my new thing. My new thing is, now my phone's over there and somebody's calling me, but I'm just going to let it ring. If there is a confrontation in social media where somebody wants to blast me or talk smack or talk whatever, I'll give you an example. There was one somebody sent me a link to where somebody tried to do a video about, is KBF dead? And I giggled because I looked at it, I watched the video, and I just clicked on the channel, and it was the most views that person had ever gotten, ever. So I thought to myself, well, good for you that the most views you can ever get is by mentioning me and mentioning KBF, even though you're trying to shit on it. And this is the part where I say I'm probably going to get this bad. I loaded up my kayak and I went fishing, and I know that person was sitting at work miserable, because I know that their life is miserable, because that's how miserable people act. And the whole time I was driving to the water, and the whole time I was getting ready, and the whole time I was fishing, I literally was kind of like smiling from the inside going, I'm doing what I want to do right now. Yep. I'm going fishing, and you're sitting over there worried about how you can try to tear me down and miserable. And so that's a weird little kind of reverse psychology, personal pep rally that I get to have. Yep. And I just realized that there's a lot of people that do want my help in helping get to, how did you get to where you got? How have you doing this? How have you done that? And I don't mind sharing. I'm as forthcoming as anybody about sponsorships and about, the mistakes I've made on YouTube. If I was doing it now, what I would do different than what I did. And, you and I've talked offline for hours about it. I've talked to Darren for hours about it. I've talked to Jeff Little for hours about it, because I truly am one of those people that I want other people to be successful. I don't believe in being successful at someone else's expense. I feel like a failure if I'm successful at someone else's expense. And I really do believe that rising tide raises all ships. And I think we're all better off if we help each other. And so
100%.
Yeah, man. It's my weird little coping mechanism. And just being part of this community, man, is the biggest blessing in the world. It 100% is. This is the greatest dysfunctional bunch of jackasses, knuckleheads, assholes, clowns, and solid salt of the earth, good people, all rolled into one big ass cheese ball that you couldn't make this in a laboratory. You know what I'm saying? Like, kayak fishing is one big National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or Christmas thing, where Uncle Eddie shows up in the front yard and all. It's a comedy of errors and things that also makes it amazing. You know what I mean? And
100%.
We're all 100%. Blessed to be part of it. And I'm blessed to be able to make a living, inspire others to make a living, and help others figure out a way to make a living doing this. Because there is no greater there's no greater accomplishment, in my opinion, than being able to do like what you truly love down to your core.
Yep.
And it be what you do. Not just what you do, not just who you are, but how you live your life. And man,
and I keep telling everybody, if you want to have the best time that you're going to have this year, have your ass in Huntsville at Ditto Landing on Veterans Day weekend. Whether you're fishing in the tournament or not, or you're just coming to hang out, be there because it is going to be a blast.
There's going to be practical jokes. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be there's going to be spoofs. There's going to be it's going to be a good time. It's going to be the most functional family reunion in the history of family reunions, and I'm looking forward to it.
And then we start doing it every year.
And I'm going to be that batshit crazy uncle over in the corner that everybody's going, what is he doing? So,
it's going to be a good time. Cool. All right, brother. Well, you're going to be live tomorrow night. Make sure everybody's paying attention. I'll let you drop. I'm going to do a giveaway and then wrap it up. Thanks.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time.
So 9 o'clock Eastern.
KBF Facebook group. I'll make a post about it tomorrow as well. JT, love you, my brother. Like a brother, because you are, and I appreciate everything you do for me, everything you do for the sport, everything you do for veterans, everything you do for just people in general behind the scenes. It's been a blessing that God brought you into my life and that he inspired you to put a camera on and start sharing what you do with other people. And I can't thank you enough. So I'm gonna shut up now and let you do your giveaway. Love you, man. Love you, knuckleheads, and I will see y'all tomorrow.
2 weeks. I'm gonna see you. We're going fishing, so be ready.
Yes, we are. You're gonna get your arm broke.
That's what I got a new frog rod. I'm ready. I'm riveted. My box came in. I got my rib. I'm ready. I'm ready to lay the smackdown on them. I cannot wait. So I'll see you tomorrow night.
I got 2 spots I'm saving just for it. It's gonna be so good. So
yes, sir. Man. Yes, sir.
Be good, brother.
All right, you take care.
All right, goodbye.
See ya. All right, everybody. Chad Hoover. Awesome catching up with him again. Again, Knucklehead, Catch22, FISHOPS. Love everything that's going on. Now, let me go ahead and pull up. And again, one more time, hashtag GRAMPS if you want to get in this drawing. But let me go ahead and pull the screen up and get the giveaway going. And then I will get you guys out of here. In the future, I am still working on trying to schedule. I saw Tweezy Bass fishing with Antoine's in the house. Real quick, let me get this share screen and get a giveaway going. And let's see how many people we got. 30 entries so far. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'll give everybody a couple of seconds, but I'm going to have the guy, I can never remember his name, the guy from Kayak Cushion, I'm going to have on hopefully next Wednesday. Jeremy and I are going to start doing our Two Brothers Fishing Lives podcast on Sunday nights, and those will be focused on technique specific stuff so that we can share what we love about various techniques. The first one obviously we're going to talk about is based on Jeremy's favorite, the Texas rig. So we're going to break down everything and how we fish, rods, reels, lines, favorite baits, places, so forth and so on, so we can start sharing a lot of the tips and tricks and techniques that we have, but then also start actually putting those out on a podcast for others to listen to when they're driving in different places. I know a lot of people love doing that. I love doing that with Tackle Talk and others as I'm driving, my hour or 90 minutes to a various lake, just stuff like that too. So We've got 39 entries in there. I want to make sure we give everybody a good opportunity, and then I will let you guys have your night back. Again, thanks for Chad hopping in tonight and doing some Fish USA giveaways. I'm going to do a bait package for lucky winner tonight. And then again, we will have, as soon as I can connect with my dude over at Kayak Cushion, because I'm telling you, I love my Old Town, and the seats in it are great. But you can make great even better. And Kayak Cushions for your booty. Just, I mean, I'm old, broken, back hurts, bad legs, you know, and the Kayak Cushion lets me stay in a kayak. I'm not kidding you guys when I tell you I put in 12 to 15 hour sessions throughout a day, and I am fine. But Kayak Cushions are just incredible. But I want to talk, I'm going to pick like we did with Duke at Catch. I want to get the guy on, tell us how he started his business, where he got his ideas from, and what he's got going on and where he's going with that too. So we got 40 entries. I will go ahead and draw a winner, and then I will let you guys get out of here, and we'll be back on Sunday night talking about Texas rigs and things like that too. So Brian Andrick, you are tonight's winner. Email me at fishingwithgramps@gmail.com. And I have a little verification thing, so I know it's not somebody who set up a fake profile and trying to get free stuff. We'll go through some email exchanges, and then, you know, I'll get you verified and get you a package out in the mail with a bunch of different baits that maybe help you catch some more fish this summer. So again, congrats, Brian. I think you're a first-time winner because you're probably not, you know, I don't think you've won anything here yet. So glad to see you here in the comments. Again, thank you for everybody popping in tonight. Don't forget, Chad is live again tomorrow night in the Kayak Bass Fishing Facebook group. If you're not a member of that, get in it, but it might take you a minute to get verified to get in there because there's a lot of people. And I always love seeing our regulars in the show tonight. Shout out and thank you to everybody, all of our members that help support this channel, because you guys literally pay for the StreamYard through your channel memberships. That you know, it saves me a couple of bucks, and I can stream in higher quality because I can afford to up it to the highest level. And that's what I want to do for y'all, just because. So again, thanks for everybody for popping in. Love you guys. I'm going to be working on a couple different videos. The first Two Brothers Outdoors video, I'm going to start editing that next week. And it's a video where Jeremy and I took a trip on a river where we grew up fishing and spend a day on the river in our little hometown of Williams, Indiana, and we'll start building it out from there. So the first video to Two Brothers Outdoors will be coming, and then after that, you'll see the Smalley fantastic, you know, day. So it was awesome. So again, thanks everybody for popping in. Love you guys. Thank you for all the love, support, and everything you do to keep this channel going and growing. We just crossed over 26,000 subscribers. You guys are completely awesome. Awesome. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Until next time, get outside when you can and make some memories. I mean, really, that's I keep telling y'all that's what it's all about, but make them memories one cast at a time.